Have you ever wished you could learn more from your day, make better decisions, and grow little by little, all while practicing English in a calm, thoughtful way? If so, you are in the right place. Welcome to BetterSelf, the channel that helps you improve your life and your language at the same time. Today, we will explore the power of reflection journaling, a simple habit that builds self-awareness, strengthens memory, and turns small experiences into steady growth. As you listen, you will hear clear, simple English. You can follow the ideas, try the short practices, and use these lessons to both change your life and improve your listening skills. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What is reflection journaling? A mirror for the minder. Reflection journaling is a gentle habit. It is not just writing down what happened. It is writing with purpose, noticing feelings, looking for patterns, and asking what we can learn. Think of it as a mirror that shows not only your face but also the way you stand, the choices you make, and the small habits you repeat. When you look carefully in that mirror, you can choose to adjust your posture. You can choose a better way to walk through the day. Many people imagine journaling as a long diary filled with memories and drama. Reflection journaling is different. It is shorter and sharper. It is like taking a few minutes each day to ask 3 simple questions. What happened? How did I feel? What will I do next? These 3 questions change the way we see our actions. They help us move from reacting to reflecting. They create a small space of calm where learning can happen. Imagine you are learning to play the piano. After each practice, you stop and think, which passage felt hard? Where did my timing break down? What small change will I try next time? That short reflection helps you improve faster than just practicing without thinking. The same idea works for life. Reflection journaling turns ordinary days into lessons. Reflection journals come in many shapes. Some people use a paper notebook. Others type on a phone or a computer. Some speak their reflections into a voice memo. The tool does not matter. What matters is the habit of paying attention. You can write a single sentence, a short paragraph, or a list of bullet points. What matters is that you slow down and ask useful questions. You will find that even a 5-minute entry can change your view of the day. There is another useful image. Reflection journaling is also a map. When you write, you create a record of where you have been. Over time, the map becomes clearer. You begin to notice which paths lead to happiness, which lead to stress, and which lead to wasted time. Without this map, you wander and hope the next turn will be better. With the map, you can plan a route. You can see the small steps that will lead you to your larger goals. Reflection reduces noise. In modern life, we are surrounded by small events and strong emotions. A sudden message, a tough conversation, a surprise deadline. Each moment can pull our attention away. Reflection journaling acts like a filter. When you write about a challenge, you separate the facts from the feeling. You notice how you reacted and whether the reaction helped you. With time, you learn to choose responses that serve your goals instead of reactions that make problems worse. This habit is also a practice of kindness. When you reflect, you can take a gentle look at your mistakes without shame. Instead of replaying an error and feeling bad, you can ask, how will I improve? This shift from blame to curiosity opens space for real change. It also builds self-compassion because you allow yourself to be human and to grow. Some people worry that reflection journaling is too slow or too private. It is true that good habits grow silently. Reflection is quiet work. It does not promise immediate excitement. But the results are strong and steady. Daily reflection builds clarity, resilience, and a clearer direction for life. Over months and years, the small notes in a journal become a record of growth, a proof that change is possible. To start, you do not need a perfect routine or a fancy notebook. You only need a few minutes and a willingness to notice. Try asking the 3 simple questions after a small event. What happened? How did I feel? And what will I try next? Write your answers in simple English. Keep your sentences short and honest. As you practice, your language will improve and your life will change. Near the end of this chapter, take a moment to imagine your life with a mirror and a map. The mirror helps you see yourself clearly, and the map helps you choose the next step. These two images will return often in the series because they capture the essence of reflection journaling. Start small, stay curious, and remember that the habit grows with repetition. If you are ready, make a short note now. In 1 or 2 sentences, write what you learned today and one small step you will take tomorrow. Keep it simple. This tiny act is your first step toward steady improvement. Chapter 2. Why Reflection Works. The Science in Simple Words. Reflection journaling might feel like a quiet habit, but behind it are strong scientific ideas. Learning, memory, and behavior change all respond to simple forces that journaling uses well. In this chapter, we will explain the basic science in plain English and show how journaling helps the brain and the mind. You do not need to be a scientist to benefit. These ideas are practical and easy to use. Our brains store memory in 2 main ways: the memory of events and the meaning we give to those events. When something happens, we first notice the facts, the time, the place, the people. Then we assign meaning. Did this event make me proud, sad, or angry? These meanings influence our future choices far more than the facts themselves. Reflection journaling helps you notice both the facts and the meaning. By writing, you link the event to a clear story you can learn from. There is a process called consolidation. After an event, the memory is fragile. If we do nothing, the memory fades. If we review the event, the memory becomes stronger. Reflection journaling acts like a review session for life. When you write about an experience, you help your brain store it more clearly. Over time, repeated reflection makes important lessons stick. You will remember what you learned and act differently next time. Another useful idea is metacognition. This is a fancy word that means thinking about thinking. When you reflect, you step outside the moment and look at your own thoughts and feelings. This step is a powerful skill. It reduces automatic reactions and increases intentional choices. For example, after a tense meeting, a person who practices reflection might notice, "I felt defensive when my idea was challenged." That notice creates a moment of choice. The next time, the person can respond calmly, rather than acting on the old pattern. Reflection also connects to emotional regulation. Writing about feelings helps lower emotional intensity. Scientists have found that people who write about their emotions after a stressful event recover faster. The act of naming a feeling, saying "I was frustrated," changes the brain's response and creates space to act. Reflection journaling is a practical way to name feelings and reduce their grip on our decisions. A related benefit comes from pattern recognition. Our lives are full of small signals and tiny habits. Alone, each moment seems unimportant. But when you look back over weeks and months in a journal, patterns appear. Maybe you notice that mornings before coffee are low energy, or that certain people trigger worry. Journaling makes patterns visible. Once you see a pattern, you can test a change and measure the result. Reflection practice also supports goals. The psychological process of setting a goal and regularly reviewing it increases the chance of success. When you write down a goal and reflect on progress, you create a simple feedback loop. Write what went well, what did not, and what you will try next. Over time, the loop helps you steer toward the goal with small adjustments. There is also a social effect. While journaling is private, it often improves communication. When you understand your own thoughts and feelings better, you can explain them more clearly to others. This clarity improves relationships and reduces misunderstandings. People who spend time in reflection often say their conversations become calmer and more honest. One more scientific idea is the power of narrative. Humans make sense of life by telling stories. Journals help you create a coherent story from scattered events. A clear story reduces anxiety about the future and makes decisions easier. You do not need to write a long story. Even a small paragraph that connects an action to an outcome will help you see the path forward. To use these scientific ideas, try a short practice now. Think of a recent small event that bothered you. Write one paragraph describing the facts. Write a second paragraph naming your feelings about it. Write a third paragraph with one small action you will try next time. This simple process applies the science of consolidation, metacognition, emotional regulation, pattern recognition, goal feedback, and narrative. Over time, these small acts create large change. Science gives us reason to trust reflection journaling. It shows why writing, thinking, and reviewing help the brain learn. But the real proof is personal. When you practice, you will feel clearer, calmer, and more able to change. Keep your language simple, keep your habits small, and let the science work quietly through your daily routine. Chapter 3. Different styles of reflection journaling. Find your best fit. Reflection journaling is flexible. There is no single right way to do it. The most important rule is this: pick a style that fits your life and your goals. In this chapter, we will explore different styles: morning pages, evening reviews, prompt-based entries, free writing, bullet journaling, and voice reflections, and help you choose a method that feels natural. Each style has strengths, and many people use a mix. The key is to try and to be willing to change what does not work. A common and powerful style is the morning reflection. Many people like to write right after waking up, before the day starts. Morning reflection helps you set the tone for the day. You can list the 3 most important tasks, check your mood, and note any personal goals, such as being patient or focused. Mornings are often quiet, and a short 10-minute practice can guide your day. This style works well for people who want to start with intention. Evening reflection is another popular method. In the evening, you have the advantage of seeing the whole day. You can review what happened, notice what worked, and plan a small adjustment for tomorrow. Evening journaling helps close the day and reduces the chance of replaying events in your head. Some people prefer evening reflection because it supports recovery and prepares the mind for restful sleep. Prompt-based journaling uses fixed questions or prompts. Examples include: what did I learn today? What did I avoid? What made me happy? Prompt-based entries are useful for beginners because they reduce the blank page problem. If you are learning English, prompts can also guide your vocabulary and sentence structure. Pick a few prompts and rotate them. You can use a single prompt each day or a set of 3. Free writing is less structured. You write whatever comes to mind for a set time, often 10 or 20 minutes. Free writing can be cathartic and creative. It helps when you need to release strong feelings or when you want to discover ideas that are below the surface. This style may be slower to produce clear lessons, but it can uncover surprising insights and new perspectives. Bullet journaling is a concise, list-based approach. You write quick bullets about events, moods, or tasks. Bullet journals are fast and rewarding for busy people. They are also easy to review. If your schedule is full and you worry about time, bullet journaling may fit your life well. It provides a way to maintain continuity without long writing sessions. Voice reflection is a good choice for people who prefer speaking to writing. Record a short audio note about your day and listen back later. Voice reflection captures tone and emotion in a way that writing sometimes misses. It can be especially helpful for language learners who want to improve spoken English. Speaking your thoughts out loud builds fluency and helps you hear patterns in your language use. A hybrid approach often works best. For example, you can use morning prompts to set goals, use short bullet entries during the day to capture fast notes, and do an evening free write once a week to reflect more deeply. Flexibility keeps the habit sustainable. Don't feel pressure to be perfect. Try a style for 2 weeks and see how it fits. Tools also matter. A simple notebook is low-tech and satisfying. The physical act of writing can slow thinking and improve memory. Digital tools like phone apps or a document on your computer are useful when you are on the move. Choose the tool that you will use consistently. If you change tools, keep your entries in one place so your map of progress remains clear. As you try styles, pay attention to two signals: energy and insight. If a style leaves you energized and gives you small insights, keep it. If it drains you and feels like a chore, change it. Your reflection practice should add to your life, not take from it. Try this small experiment now. Pick one style and use it for 7 days. If you wake up, try a morning reflection for 3 minutes. If you prefer night, do an evening review for 5 minutes. After the week, look back at your notes and notice one pattern. That pattern is your starting point for change. Find your best fit, stay curious, and remember that the style you choose is a tool. The habit of reflecting is the real work. Over time, you will adapt and build a practice that supports both your English and your growth. Chapter 4. How to start. Practical steps to build the habit. Starting a reflection journaling habit is simple in theory and sometimes tricky in practice. The gap between intention and habit is where most people struggle. In this chapter, we will break the process into clear, small steps you can follow. We will use simple language and practical tips. You will see how to begin without pressure, how to make the habit stick, and how to avoid common traps. Step 1 is to choose a reasons for journaling. Ask yourself, why do I want to reflect? Is it to reduce stress, improve focus, track progress on goals, or practice English listening and writing? A clear why keeps the habit meaningful. Write your reason in 1 or 2 sentences and place it where you can see it, on your mirror, as a phone note, or at the front of your journal. This small act anchors the habit in purpose. Step 2 is to set a tiny starting goal. Small is better because it removes resistance. Instead of promising to write for 30 minutes every day, promise 2 minutes. 2 minutes is so small that you cannot say no. Once the habit begins, it often grows naturally. I have worked with many people who started with a single sentence each night, and after a few weeks, found themselves writing longer entries because the habit felt easy and safe. Step 3 is to schedule a specific time and place. Habits form when they are triggered by a stable context. Maybe you write in the morning with a cup of tea, or in the evening while sitting on your bed. Choose a place and time that you can repeat. When the environment becomes familiar, your brain links it to the behavior and the habit becomes automatic. Step 4 is to prepare the materials. If you prefer paper, pick a simple notebook and a pen you like. If you prefer digital, create a document or download a journaling app. But put a reminder on your phone for the first 2 weeks. During this early period, reminders help close the intention-action gap. After the habit forms, you can remove the reminders. Step 5 is to use simple prompts. If the blank page scares you, use 1 or 2 prompts and stick to them for the first month. Prompts can be as simple as, I learned, I felt, tomorrow I will try. These prompts reduce decision fatigue and guide your writing. For English learners, prompts also help you practice key vocabulary and sentence patterns. Step 6 is to make it enjoyable. Add a small pleasure to the ritual. Maybe you light a candle, make a cup of tea, or sit in a comfortable chair. The more pleasant the context, the more likely you will return. The pleasure does not need to be expensive, just a little extra kindness that makes the habit feel like a gift. Step 7 is to track consistency, not length. In the beginning, aim to write every day, even if the entry is short. The real goal is consistency. Use a simple calendar or app to mark each day you write. Seeing a streak of days builds motivation. But remember, a missed day is okay. Be kind to yourself and return without guilt. Step 8 is to reflect on the habit itself. After 2 weeks, read your entries and ask, did this habit help? What changed? How did my mood shift? You will already have small evidence of benefit. Use that evidence to reinforce the habit. If you find the practice is not helpful, change the prompts, time, or style. One common trap is perfectionism. Some people think their journal must be deep, eloquent, or private. Perfectionism can stop the practice before it starts. A better approach is to embrace imperfection. Write messy sentences. Use a few words. Your journal is for learning, not public performance. Another trap is overcomplication. People add too many rules, lists, ratings, strict formats. Keep the habit simple. The fewer rules you have, the more likely you will keep going. The goal is to become more aware, not to create a work of art. A short guided exercise will help you start. Open your journal and write the date. Write one sentence describing a small success from today. Write one sentence about a difficulty. Write one sentence about what you will try tomorrow. Close the journal and notice how you feel. This short act completes the habit loop. Cue, time, place, routine, write, and reward, calm, clarity. Repeat it daily. Starting reflection journaling is simple when you break it down. Choose a reason, set a tiny goal, pick a time and tool, use prompts, make it pleasant, track consistency, and be gentle with yourself. These steps will help the habit become part of your life and guide you towards steady growth. Chapter 5. How to write entries, structure, prompts, and examples. Knowing how to write a reflection entry makes the practice powerful and efficient. In this chapter, we will explore clear structures you can use, offer sample prompts, and give complete example entries that you can model. The aim is to keep the language simple and the process practical. You will learn how to write entries that produce insight and action without taking too much time. A reliable structure has 3 parts: observation, feeling, and action. First, observation. Describe what happened in simple facts. Who was there? What did you do? When did it happen? Stay short and objective. Second, feeling. Name your emotions. Were you anxious, proud, bored, or excited? Use single words or short phrases. Third, action. Decide one small step you will try next. This structure creates a loop. See the event. Understand your emotion. Choose a small adjustment. Let me give you an example entry using this structure. Date, August 1. Observation. I had a meeting with my manager at 10 a.m. I presented an idea, and she asked many questions. Feeling. I felt nervous and rushed. I noticed my voice became quiet. Action. Next time, I will prepare 2 short answers for likely questions and practice them before the meeting. This entry is short, clear, and useful. It highlights the problem and a small, specific change. You can also use a 4-part structure that adds gratitude. Many people find that ending with gratitude keeps reflection positive and motivates continued practice. The structure becomes observation, feeling, action, and gratitude. The gratitude can be one small thing: a good cup of coffee, a helpful colleague, or a quiet moment. Gratitude is not always necessary, but it balances the entry and reminds you of small resources. Prompts are a simple way to begin each entry. Use 1 or 2 prompts per session. Here are some beginner-friendly prompts. What went well today? What did I learn? What made me feel uncomfortable? What is one small action I will take tomorrow? Which moment felt meaningful? Keep prompts short and clear, and try to answer them in 1 or 2 sentences. If you prefer slightly deeper prompts, try: what belief did I act on today? Did that belief help me? What is one small risk I can take tomorrow? Who did I help today, and how did it feel? Did I avoid anything important? These prompts push you toward growth and problem solving without requiring heavy writing. Now let's look at a longer example that uses natural language and shows the flow of thought. Date: September 10th, Tari. Today, I worked on the new project plan. I spent the morning writing and the afternoon in meetings. In the meeting, I agreed to a new deadline without checking details. I felt a little proud that I was helpful, but also worried that I said yes too quickly. My rush came from wanting to appear capable. Next time, I will ask for 1 hour after the meeting to review feasibility before I agree. I can say, I need to check this, and I will confirm by 3 p.m. For gratitude, I am thankful that my team trusts me and that we solved a small problem in the meeting. This entry shows honest reflection and a clear action step. Some people like rating systems. You can rate your day on scales like energy, focus, and mood from 1 to 5. After ratings, write 1 sentence for each rating explaining the reason. Ratings help you spot trends when you review your journal later. They also provide quick feedback when you lack time for longer writing. Language learners can add an English practice element. Try writing 1 new sentence using a verb tense you want to practice. Or write 3 questions in English you could ask in a real conversation. This adds learning value to your reflection practice and makes the habit serve 2 goals at once. If you feel stuck, use short exercises that guide your mind. For example, write for 2 minutes answering, what did I avoid today? Why did I avoid it? What is 1 tiny step to start? This focused practice brings clarity and reduces avoidance. Remember to keep entries honest but kind. The goal is not to punish yourself for mistakes. It is to learn. Use gentle language and clear actions. Over time, your journal becomes a conversation with yourself, a steady coaching voice that helps you grow. Take a moment to write an entry now. Use the observation feeling action structure. Keep each part short. When you finish, read it aloud, slowly. Hearing your words will help both your English and your self-awareness. Chapter 6. Using journals for goals and progress. Turning reflection into growth. A journal is more than a place to unload thoughts. It is a tool for progress. In this chapter, we will explore how you can use reflection journaling to set goals, track progress, and make steady improvements. When you link daily reflection to your larger aims, small steps add up to big change. Begin with a clear goal. A goal without clarity is like a ship without a destination. Define what you want in a simple sentence. I want to run a 5-kilometer race in 3 months, or I want to finish a book outline in 6 weeks. Put this goal at the front of your journal or on the top of each weekly page. This repetition keeps the goal in mind and helps you connect daily actions to a larger outcome. Use the journal to break the goal into small, concrete actions. Large goals can feel overwhelming. Journaling helps you translate vision into steps. For example, if your aim is to run 5 kilometers, your weekly plan might include walking on Monday, a short run on Wednesday, and a longer run on Saturday. Each day, write what you did and how it felt. Over time, you will see steady progress and learn what schedule fits your life. Create simple metrics you can track in the journal. Metrics do not have to be complex. They can be days exercised, number of pages written, or minutes of practice. Each week, record a small chart or a few numbers and write 1 sentence about what influenced the number. This combination of data and reflection helps you see cause and effect. Weekly reviews are powerful. Once a week, read your entries for that week. Look for 3 things: 1 success, 1 lesson, and 1 adjustment. The success shows what to repeat. The lesson shows what to learn. The adjustment is the small change you will try the next week. This weekly loop creates disciplined, gentle progress without pressure. Link reflection to planning. Use your daily entries to inform the next day's plan. If an entry shows low energy after lunch, plan lighter tasks in the afternoon. If an entry shows a conversation that drained you, schedule a short break afterward next time. This linking of reflection and planning creates a responsive life where you adapt based on real feedback. Use the journal to celebrate small wins. Growth is made of tiny improvements. A journal entry that notes a small success, like completing a chapter or speaking up in a meeting, helps you remember progress. These notes build confidence. When motivation fades, you can read past entries to remind yourself of the small steps you have already taken. Make the journal part of a feedback loop with others when appropriate. If your goal involves a coach, teacher, or friend, share selected entries. Getting an outside perspective can be helpful. However, keep a balance. The journal is first for your private reflection. Share only what supports your growth. Use reflection to avoid common goal traps. One trap is chasing perfection. If your journal shows a pattern of all or nothing thinking, write a small plan to reduce extremes, such as aiming for 3 good days a week instead of perfect consistency. Another trap is ignoring well-being. If your entries show consistent burnout, adjust the goal timeline or add rest days. For long-term projects, keep a summary page. At the end of each month, write a short summary, what progressed, what changed, and what you will focus on next month. These summaries form a map of your long-term journey and make it easier to navigate when months pass. An example might help. Imagine you want to learn English fluently. Your journal might show daily English practice, weekly vocabulary goals, and monthly conversation checks with a partner. Each week you note what practice felt useful and what did not. After 3 months, you can see clear growth and the habits that produced it. This process keeps you motivated because the journal makes progress visible. Try this approach now. Write one page that connects a current goal to daily actions. List 3 small steps you can take this week. Then write 1 sentence each night about progress. This simple system will show you how reflection turns intention into measurable growth. When you use a journal as a growth tool, each entry becomes a small experiment. You try a change, observe the result, and adjust. Over time, these experiments compound into meaningful progress. Your journal becomes both a map and a logbook, guiding your direction and recording the journey. Chapter 7. Handling Resistance. Why journaling feels hard, and how to keep going. Many people want to start a reflection journal but find resistance. Resistance can take many forms: excuses about time, fear of facing feelings, perfectionism, or simply forgetting. This chapter focuses on why journaling feels hard and offers practical solutions to keep the habit alive. We will use simple language and real examples so that you can recognize resistance and respond kindly and effectively. One common reason journaling feels hard is the weight of expectations. People imagine that a journal must be deep, profound, and consistently long. These expectations create pressure. The remedy is simple: lower the bar. Give yourself permission to write 1 sentence. Allow entries to be short, messy, and imperfect. When you remove the need for perfection, the habit becomes easier to start and maintain. Another reason is time scarcity. People say they are too busy. When you ask for a short, concrete moment, many realize they can spare 5 minutes. A useful strategy is to attach journaling to an existing habit. For example, write right after brushing your teeth or during your morning coffee. This technique is called habit stacking. You place the new habit next to an established one so that the old habit triggers the new one automatically. A different kind of resistance is fear. Some people avoid journaling because they worry they will uncover emotions they do not want to face. This avoidance is understandable. The solution is safety. Start with neutral prompts. What did I learn? What made me smile? Begin with small observations and build trust with yourself. If strong feelings appear, you can use grounding techniques. Breathe, write a simple sentence, or put the feeling into 1 word. If a journal entry reveals something heavy, consider speaking with a friend, mentor, or therapist. Journaling is a tool, not a substitute for professional help when needed. Perfectionism often shows up as "I will start next week," or "I need the right notebook." Don't wait. Use the simplest tools available: a scrap of paper, a phone note, or a browser document. The goal is habit, not aesthetics. When you start, you will discover real reasons to continue, and then you can upgrade your tools if you want. Forgetting is another practical barrier. Even when people intend to journal, life gets busy. Use simple reminders at first: phone notifications, a sticky note on your desk, or an alarm. After a few weeks, the habit becomes more automatic, and reminders become less necessary. You can also use visual cues. Put your journal on top of your bag or next to your bed as a prompt. Comparisons can kill the habit. When you read about other people's perfect journals, you might feel small. Remember that a journal is personal. It is not meant to look like anyone else's. Your journal is for your learning. If comparison arises, write about it. Use the journal to note why you compare and what values drive your habits. This reflection reduces the power of comparison. A helpful idea is to reframe resistance as part of the process. Resistance is not evidence that you fail. It is a signal that something important is changing. When you feel the urge to avoid writing, ask, "What am I avoiding?" The answer can be a useful clue for growth. Use a short entry to capture the avoidance and one small step to move past it. Accountability can help, but choose it carefully. Sharing your progress with a friend, a coach, or a small group can increase consistency. However, make sure you keep parts of your journal private. The practice of honest self-reflection needs a safe space. If you share too much, you may stop being honest. Balance privacy and support in a way that fits you. If resistance feels strong and persistent, try a micro-habit approach. Commit to one sentence each day, or even one word. For 1 week, write only a single line. This tiny action reduces friction and often leads to longer entries naturally. Micro-habits build confidence because success feels simple and immediate. Finally, be kind to yourself. Missed days are normal. The important choice is to return without shame. A gentle acceptance of human inconsistency builds resilience. Over time, you will build a habit that is flexible and forgiving. Try a small exercise now. Write one sentence about a barrier you face and one tiny step to reduce it. Then close the journal and do something easy. Make a cup of tea, stretch, or walk for 2 minutes. This pairing of reflection and small action weakens resistance and supports new patterns. Recognize resistance, name it, and respond with kindness and simplicity. These steps will help you keep going when journaling feels hard. Chapter 8. Deepening your practice, asking better questions, and going further. After you build a basic reflection habit, you may want to go deeper. Deep reflection is not about length. It is about the quality of your questions. Better questions produce clearer answers and stronger change. In this chapter, we will explore how to ask better questions, how to use tools like the 5 whys, and how to bring curiosity into your entries so that each note becomes a step toward wisdom. Great reflection begins with curiosity. Instead of judgmental questions like, "Why am I so lazy?" ask curious ones like, "What patterns lead me to delay tasks?" Curiosity opens the mind. It makes reflection kind and productive. Questions that blame create fear and resistance. Questions that explore create clarity and freedom. A powerful technique is the 5 whys. Start with a surface issue and ask why it happened. Then ask why again and again until you reach a deeper cause. If you miss a deadline, ask, "Why did I miss it? I underestimated the work. Why did I underestimate? I did not break the task into parts. Why did I not break the task? I felt overwhelmed. Why did I feel overwhelmed? I had conflicting priorities." This process shows deep causes you can address with a clear action. Another useful approach is to shift perspective. Write as if you are advising a friend. What would you say? This distance helps you be more compassionate and practical. Often, we are harsher with ourselves than we would be with others. Writing from the advisor's perspective brings clarity and kindness to your reflection. Use future-focused questions to create momentum. Ask, "What small action will I test this week? How will I know it worked?" These questions turn reflection into experiments. Keep your steps tiny and measurable. A test might be, "I will write for 10 minutes after lunch for 3 days, and note whether my afternoon focus improves." Small, testable changes are less scary and easier to repeat. Incorporate Values-based questions. Values are the guideposts that shape choices. Ask, which of my values did I honor today? Which did I ignore? How did that feel? Values questions connect everyday actions to larger purpose. They help you make choices that align with who you want to be. Use diversity in your prompts to avoid habit boredom. Rotate questions every few days. Empathy questions, how did I help someone? Learning questions, what did I learn? Clarity questions, what decision needs attention? And resilience questions, how did I respond under stress? This variety keeps your practice fresh and covers many aspects of life. Another advanced tool is the if-then plan. After noticing a pattern, create a simple plan. If this happens, then I will do that. For example, if a meeting runs long and I feel rushed, then I will set a timer and offer a time check. If your entries often show emotional reactions, choose specific calming steps like breathing or a short walk. Use the journal for moral and ethical reflection as well. Ask, did I act with integrity today? Did I respect others' time? These questions build character and help you live in harmony with your values. Periodically, do a deeper review. Once a month, write a summary of the month, major events, lessons, and small experiments to try next month. After 6 months, read the major themes and write a long reflection. How have I changed? What patterns remain? What do I want to create next? These larger reviews help you see the big picture. Language learners can use deep reflection to practice advanced structures. Try writing a reflective paragraph using past perfect or conditional sentences. This exercise strengthens both thought and language. Try a small deepening practice now. Pick a problem you noticed recently. Ask why it happened and answer 3 times. Then write one, if-then plan to test next week. This short process pushes your reflection from surface to source and turns insight into action. Deepening your practice is a matter of asking better questions and creating small experiments. With curiosity, kindness, and consistent reflection, your journal becomes a tool for wisdom and meaningful growth. Chapter 9. Stories of Real People. How Journaling Changed Lives. Stories help us understand how reflection journaling works in the real world. In this chapter, we will share several short, true inspired stories of people who use journaling to change habits, improve relationships, and find clarity. These stories are simple and relatable. Each one shows a practical way journaling helps someone grow. First, consider Maria, a project manager in her 30s. She felt overwhelmed by endless tasks and constant messages. She started a 5-minute evening journal. Each night she wrote, what I finished, what blocked me, and one small next step. Within 2 months, she noticed a pattern. Meetings often bloated her afternoons. She experimented by blocking focus time in the morning and setting a meeting limit. The change helped her finish key work earlier and reduced stress. Her short journal entries became a log of small experiments that led to better systems. Next, meet Amir, an English learner who wanted to speak more confidently. He began a daily voice reflection, 1 minute describing his day in English. He listened back once a week and noticed repeated grammar errors and weak vocabulary. He began to practice 2 phrases each week and use them in conversation. Over 3 months, his speaking felt more natural and his listening improved. His journal gave both practice and feedback, and it made his progress visible. A third example is June, a teacher who struggled with anger after difficult conversations. June kept a private notebook where he wrote immediately after tense moments. He named his feelings and asked, why did I react this way? He found that fatigue and hunger often made him more reactive. By adjusting his schedule and adding short breaks, his reactions softened. The journal helped him see the triggers and make small changes that improved his relationships. Then there is Lena, a startup founder who used monthly summaries to track progress. She wrote weekly notes about product development, team morale, and customer feedback. Each month she reviewed the entries and noticed a recurring issue. The team lacked clear priorities. She introduced a weekly planning meeting with a simple agenda. The weekly review came from her journal observations and improved team alignment. Her journal was a low-cost tool for strategic thinking. Consider also a well-known historical example. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, practiced daily reflection in short writings. His notes helped him stay focused, moral, and resilient amid great challenges. Although his context was different, the core practice was the same. Daily honest writing to understand and guide action. Stories like these share a common thread. Journaling turns small awareness into practical change. People do not become perfect overnight. They notice patterns, test small changes, and adjust. The journal records what works and what does not. And over time, these small adjustments create large improvements. One story from the tech world is that of a product team that kept a shared reflection document. After each sprint, they noted what went well and what to change. This simple practice reduced repeated mistakes and improved release stability. The reflection became a team habit that built continuous learning. Another example is an artist who used a gratitude-focused journal during a difficult creative block. Each morning, she wrote 3 small things she appreciated. The practice slowly changed her mood and opened space for creativity. In her journal, she found small impulses that later became works of art. The journal helped her move from scarcity to possibility. If you want to learn from these stories, try borrowing a specific practice. For example, try Amir's voice reflection for a week, or Mariah's evening 3-question method. Use other people's examples not as strict rules, but as experiments you can adapt to your life. Now, write a short journal entry inspired by one story. Choose a small method and note how you will try it for 7 days. Commit to a tiny experiment and record 1 sentence each day about the result. Stories are useful because they point the way, but your life is the place where the lesson must be tested. Reflection journaling is both personal and universal. The tools are simple, and the results are practical. These stories show how small, honest notes can lead to clearer choices, better habits, and more peaceful life. Your story can be next. Reflection is powerful, but its strength grows when it leads to action. A journal is a store of insight that must be used. In this final chapter, we will focus on how to turn reflection into consistent action. We will look at simple systems that make changes stick, tiny experiments, habit loops, public commitments, and review cycles. The goal is to make your journal a practical tool that moves you forward each day. Start by choosing 1 insight from your journal. Insights are small truths that appear when you reflect. Maybe you notice that you work best in the morning, or that interruptions break your focus. Pick 1 insight that matters now. Smaller is better. A small change is easier to test and refine. Next, design a tiny experiment. The experiment should be short, concrete, and time-bound. Example: this week I will block 90 minutes each morning for focused work and turn off notifications during that time. Or for 5 days, I will practice speaking English for 5 minutes each evening. Tiny experiments remove the pressure of permanent change. They are tests, not judgments. Link the experiment to specific triggers and rewards. A habit loop works like this: cue, routine, reward. Your cue might be an existing habit such as finishing breakfast. Your routine is the experiment, 5 minutes of speaking practice. Your reward is something pleasant, like a cup of tea or a quick walk. The cue triggers action, and the reward helps the brain remember the loop. Use your journal to track the experiment. Each day, write 1 sentence about what you did and what happened. This daily tracking creates accountability and helps you see patterns. If the experiment fails, the journal will show why. If it succeeds, the journal becomes a record of what to keep. Create public or social support if it helps. Tell a friend about your tiny experiment or join a small group with similar goals. Social support increases the chance of sticking with a habit. However, keep your journal private so you can be honest. Share only the parts that support your accountability. Use weekly reviews to decide whether to scale the change. After your experiment week, ask, did this help? Did I enjoy it? Was it sustainable? If yes, increase the action slightly. If no, adjust the cue or the reward. Scaling slowly prevents burnout. A common mistake is to double the effort too quickly. Instead, increase by a small step, such as from 5 minutes to 8 minutes, and test again. Make sure actions are linked to clear outcomes. Vague goals like be more productive are hard to measure. Instead, tie habits to outcomes, such as complete 2 chapters of the book, or complete 1 focused working block before lunch. When outcomes are clear, your journal can measure progress objectively. Use failure as feedback. Not all experiments will succeed. If you miss your plan on 3 days, write about why. The journal helps you diagnose cause and effect. Maybe your evening plan failed because you were tired. The solution might be to move the practice to morning. Every failure contains useful data. Create rituals around reflection and action. For example, after your evening journal, write 1 small action to try tomorrow. Then place that note where you will see it in the morning. This gentle ritual connects reflection to action and reduces the morning decisions that can derail progress. Another helpful tool is visual tracking. Use a calendar or a simple chart in your journal to mark days you completed the action. Visual progress builds motivation. A short streak can feel satisfying and push you to continue. Finally, remember that small changes compound. Tiny steps taken consistently create large effects over time. Journaling helps you notice the smallest useful change and to repeat it. A year of small, deliberate experiments will produce a very different life than a year of random activity. End this chapter with a short plan. Down. Choose 1 insight, design a 3-day experiment, and write the plan now. Note the cue, the routine, and the reward. Use your journal each day to record what happened. This simple loop, reflect, plan, act, record, is the engine of sustained growth. Today we explored the power of reflection journaling. What it is, why it works, how to start, different styles, and how to turn notes into real action. We heard simple science, practical steps, and real stories. The main idea is this: small, honest moments of reflection create clarity, reduce reactivity, and guide change. Start with tiny steps, keep your language simple, and use your journal as both a map and a mirror. Over time, these small acts will add up to real growth. You can begin right now. Pick 1 prompt, write 1 sentence, and plan 1 tiny experiment. Be kind to yourself and stay curious. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe to BetterSelf for more calm, practical guidance that helps you grow and improves your English at the same time. Keep reflecting, keep acting, and remember, small daily steps lead to big long-term change. See you in the next video.